So today's video is really just a question for you all and simply a hypothetical. As I've been thinking, the Washington Commanders have had major upgrades to the team, whether it's offensively, adding Javon Kinlaw, defensively, adding Trey Amos in the secondary. Like we've had quite a bit of upgrades throughout this offseason from free agency and draft and bringing back our own players. However, will the Washington Commanders regret not addressing this position group more of? Let's talk about it.
The way that we live is not for everybody, man.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
How do you think the rest of Jaden Daniels' career is going to go? If we're, 6, 7 games into Jaden Daniels' career and he's already milking injuries, like...
Stop saying my name, you dick riding bastard.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We got another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with the video. We're going to be talking about the Washington Commanders and how could they potentially regret not paying more attention to this position group, or will they be just fine? So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Before, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you can reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So, Washington, the Commanders, we have addressed a lot this offseason. And we've made some positive changes to this team, adding really good pieces. However, there was one position group that was very much lacking last season. And for sure, we just thought that they were going to upgrade that position majorly. And now that the draft has passed and it's May and we're headed into OTAs, the position group that I'm talking about is edge rusher. And I know we may have certain plans for that position group, and it may not ultimately be as regretful feeling as it may seem, or the question I'm asking today. But just looking on paper, how confident are you in that position group? How confident are you in Adam Peters' philosophy and Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr.'s philosophy to get the best out of that position group? Because no, we don't have a stud. We don't have a guy that we just expect to go out there and pull off a Dante Fowler season, in which his season was an anomaly too. But no, we don't have no one that we can just lean on to get 12.5 sacks, right? But I mean, hopefully it pans out. Hopefully somebody steps up. But at the point that it looks at now, it just looks like it's a bunch of guys that are gonna have to contribute and in some way just come together and rush as one, because that position group to me is definitely a big question mark. Right? Like, what are we getting out of Jacob? What is it? Jacob Martin? Or, I think I was calling him Jacob Young, but Jacob Martin. Like, what are we getting out of him? What are we getting out of Javonte Jean-Baptiste? Right? Like, what is Dorrance Armstrong going to like? Cleveland Furrow? Like, this position group is very, very underwhelming. Now, my thing that I feel like Washington is doing, and the reason why they have not paid that much attention to it, is because they are going to use other people and other players at those positions. No, it may not be their primary position, but they're going to have different packages in which it allows them to not have to need a primary pass rusher. Now, what do I mean by that? Frankie Louvu, we know he rushed a ton last year at edge rusher when he got the opportunity to. However, we know Frankie is our stand-up backer, but he can do it all. And with Jordan McGee now being healthy and going into year 2, and I have high expectation for Jordan McGee in year 2, maybe he can be this year's Frankie Louvu in terms of being that stand-up backer that can do everything, move around, cover, come down, tackle. And that allows Frankie Louvu to be used more as, dare I say, Micah Parsons' role. And not saying he's on the level of Micah Parsons, but in terms of being able to stand up, cover, rush the passer. And obviously, it's going to come down to Joe Witt Jr., him being more creative in his play calling, right? Like, he doesn't have the bodies right now that I think are going to contribute to the success of getting to the quarterback, right? Like now, I mean, we have bodies, like obviously like players, but I'm talking about guys that you can just sit here in May and say, yeah, they're definitely going to be something this upcoming season. Now, I'm not talking about in October, November, where one of our guys, because it's probably going to happen, one of our guys have a shocking season, and it's like, who saw this from Cleveland Furl? Who saw this from Javonte Jean-Baptiste? He got 8.5 sacks going into November. Like, who would have saw that? Like, that would be great, but in May, can we really predict that? Like, no. So, for me, I don't want to say they'll regret it, but I'm posing the question that due to the lack of pass rushers equipped, I should say, will it come back to haunt us? Now, we've been in the market for a veteran pass rusher, so that goes to show you that we know we need to upgrade it, because there have been interest in Von Miller. There have been talks that could be in on Detroit's Lions pass rusher from last year and buddy of Lance Newmark's know him, and Zadarius Smith. So we clearly know we need to upgrade that position. But if they don't, do you think their game plan on a week-by-week basis is going to be enough to stop that? Because think about it, right? Like, we went all out in, and I'm all for it. We went all in on beefing up the interior to stop Saquon Barkley, Jameer Gibbs, all those guys were going to face. I'm all for it because the run defense was horrible. But as a lot of you all mentioned as well, is the exterior, the edge rushers, the outside linebackers were also not playing that good last year, as to why Saquon Barkley was able to bounce it out to the left or right side and get 50, 60, 40 yards a carry. You know what I'm saying? So although we did upgrade the interior of the defensive line, which I was all for and I understood wholeheartedly, how confident are you that the edge rushers are going to be able to play the same way? Or is it more so of what I was saying, like they are going to use Javon Kinlaw more as a defensive end and than anything, right? They're going to find ways to put Frankie Louvu out there, find ways to just get creative. And if that's the way that we're going to go about it, that's fine with me. That's just going to help defensive Joe Witt Jr. not only show that he's head coaching material, because they already want him, to be a head coach, had interest last year, but it's going to allow him to tap more into his bag and see if he's really a creative genius, because last season he relied heavily on his personnel, and we really didn't have the personnel last year, especially in the secondary. That's why we ran a lot of man, and he was relying on Benjamin St. Juste and Emmanuel Forbes and a slew of other guys, right? I wonder if this year it seems as if it's going to be the same thing, or if it's going to be more him finding ways to get creative with what he has. That's what it's seeming like it's going to be, because at this point, there's nobody out there. Even the free agents, right, the veterans. The only guy that interests me is probably Zadarius Smith, maybe Matt Judon, but like those guys aren't anybody that still like rings a bell at this point, or moves the needle, I should say. So I'm not really sure what their plan is. I just wanted to pose that question to you, because it's like, you look at the upgrades that we've made, right? Receiver 2, offensive line, secondary help, a lot of the holes that we needed, right? Or a lot of places in the roster that we felt needed upgrades, right? Running back, even though it was a 245th pick, Ja'Cory Krosky-Mertz seems to be a guy that a lot of people are excited about, including myself. So we upgraded that position, right? We also got a young linebacker to maybe be a Bobby Wagner successor. We overly upgraded the interior of the defensive line, right? Like, we've done a lot besides edge rusher. I mean, again, unless they think Jacob Martin is just going to be this beast, maybe, but I'm not sure how confident I am in that right now. But that being said, my final verdict is I don't think they're going to regret it, because I think their plan is to use what they have and just be creative this season, right? So we're going to see a lot more Frankie Louvu rushing the pass. We're going to see a lot more of 5-man blitzes, 6-man blitzes, safety blitzes, Will Hurst, obviously. I think we're going to see more of Jordan McGee getting after the quarterback. I think Jordan McGee could be a way better, dare I say, they compared him to Dre Greenlaw. But I'm thinking, like, remember when I thought Jamin Davis, he finally found his way, and his way was getting after the quarterback, rushing the passer? What if that's Jordan McGee's way of seeing the field in his really second year, but true first season? Because remember when Joe McGee was out there, he was flying around, like he was doing his thing, and then Michael Walker came in and kind of ruined it. So I got big hopes for Joe McGee, I really do. And we'll just see. Well, I'm gonna let it play out, and we'll see. But my verdict is they won't regret it. But what says you out there in the comment section? The lack of addition to the edge rush room. Do you think it's gonna hurt the Washington Commanders this season, or do you think they'll be fine? Leave it down below in the comment section. As always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. On the road to 10,000 subscribers. So we greatly appreciate it. Reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. You have a blessed, stay safe, be easy out there. Peace.
Never gave a ballin' like I'm Deshaun, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a laundry.